one has got a really good chance of getting into the playoffs. The other probably not, but who's who? We might find out a bit more at the end of 80 minutes.
Yeah, I think Hull FC have vastly improved. Like I said, I've been amazed by watching how they've improved. Catalans have just got somewhere to go to find some form in the season, but it's important to start well. These opening exchanges, Stuart, are massive. Physically, you've just got to be beyond the money, and that's maybe where Catalans have let themselves down this year.
Was Navarrete with the opening burst for the Dragons, and one thing Joel Tompkins talked about was the speed of the game and the speed of the play the ball, and that's what they've been working on, and that's visible in the first couple of tackles. The ball with Da Costa, but having Ben Garcia back in business as well will be a big help for the Dragons. Da Costa at dummy half in defeat. They lost 48-0, of course, to Wigan, and he made as many tackles as that in the game. Alex Da Costa does a lot of good work in defence. The ball will go back to Luke Keary on the last. A decent opening set from the home side. Well taken by Martin. Under pressure, though, 0-0, a minute gone.
Yeah, decent first set from Catalan Dragons. A glimpse into what their tactics are going to be. Direct, one out, down the middle of the field, really challenging Hull to be physical and be aggressive with how they defend. 100-metre set in effect for Catalan Dragons there. Now Hull FC bogged down in their own half.
Yeah, Hull win, they go fifth, and that is a remarkable improvement, isn't it? We talked about those away games that they've won. You add to that winning at Wigan in the Cup, and they feel they should have won at Headingley not so long ago, losing in the last 30 seconds, didn't they, to a Ryan Hall try, but fast improvement. Amir Burrow, there is Caesar with the kick downfield, but straight to Remus Smith, and interesting, isn't it, the switch and change, the youngster Aspuro, Bichet left out, and Smith playing at full-back, Kotrick in the centre.
Yeah, a few changes. I think Bichet's come in and made an impact, but made lots of errors as well. Remus Smith is a big athlete. Look, he's difficult to handle, but great to have Kotrick back in. Look, you just chews up the meters for Catalan Dragons, incredibly hard to put down and generate some ruck speed like this.
Well, here is Partington. One of the Super League top tackler, 509 tackles on Partington before today. A mountain of work every week. Now Farge, Laguerre for the Dragons. But a bright start, and as I said before, noticeable that they're trying to play this at a really fast pace, even in the heat of the south of France. That's a really good kick, and that's a brilliant take as well.
Will Price, wasn't it?
Price
fantastic.
Coming up in full.
Fantastically timed jump from Will Price. You know, interestingly choosing to leave Price at fullback. Rapana, there was maybe a question whether Price pushed up into the halves. He's been really bright for Hull FC in that fullback position. Also good to see Rapana back. He takes a high shot here of Catalan Dragons. You know, good to see him back. It was a horrendous head injury we saw at Leeds. You know, 11-minute stoppage. So he's gone through all of the head injury protocols. The number one for Hull, experienced in the NRL, just catches one high. That's not what you need after coming back from a serious head injury, but followed all of the protocols and deemed fit to play. What an exceptional player he's been throughout his career.
I suppose as well it says a lot of what John Cartwright thinks about Will Price and playing Will Price at full back. As you mentioned, you know, the options of playing, the temptations of playing in the halves alongside Caesar with the injury to Kate Cuss, but he's been so good at fullback than White says. That's why Rapid is in there at the halves, I guess. SASA for the black and white. And I think he may well have lost the ball there. The referee, Liam Moore, saying that he did. Urban SASA pleads his innocence, but he's lost the ball. Chance gone for Hull FC. 0-0. 5 minutes gone.
He just didn't get to his feet. You know, he tried to play the ball quickly. He's such a big man. He breaks through tackles at will. He gets in a position. He just plants the ball on the ground before he's managed to regain his feet. It's a clear penalty. But how good has SASA been for Hull? Second only to Vita Pangai Jr. in the offloads charts, and he's been rampant with the try scoring.
If you're wondering how Vita Pangai Jr. is, left out again. He was left out against Wigan, and now a mistake from the Dragons. So Hull FC will get it back with Hardy. Yeah, Joe Tompkins was saying he just feels that he's not on it, and his mind is not on it either. So he reckons he could well be back playing and using Pangai Junior in their next game. A little matter of an away trip to Hull KR. But interesting, Tompkins deciding that to leave him out once more.
Well, that's where SS trumps Pangai Junior, because he plays long minutes and he has real quality and tidiness to him. Obviously, just gifting possession to Catalan Dragons through a sloppy play of the ball, but he's been disciplined and detailed. The question for me is, how do Hull adapt to not having John Asiata in the team?
Well, we're going to find out. 8 tries, SASA, by the way. This is good work, and Barron on the far side. A couple of tackles left here for Hull FC. First opportunity to attack inside the Catalan 20. A wild pass out, wasn't it? That's probably how they're coping without John Asiata.
Exactly, he's so clinical in those situations. His ball playing through the middle of the field is exceptional. Aidan Caesar will just pop this in the corner, and should Catalan regather this? This is John Cartwright's trademark now, a tight and aggressive defence, just suppressing field position and territory for the Catalan Dragons.
It's been so effective.
Yeah, it's just a really simple way. Aidan Caesar galvanised behind his kicking game and be tight and disciplined defensively and restrict meters. It's such a simple philosophy. It works for Wigan. It's been working for Hull KR recently, and Hull have really improved in that area. As I said, averaging only 19 points from 33 points a game last year.
Yaha with the run. Again now for Ledra. Yeah, the word is, was that a knock on? John Wilkins to my right said knock on before the referee blew. And there's no doubt there that Liam Moore got that one spot on. A mistake by Mathieu Laguerre, and the black and whites, or the turquoise and whites, will get the ball back.
Yeah, in good field position too. There's so many tries get scored from set pieces. These are the sequences of play that you practice endlessly at training. Look, Carlan just coming up with 2 sloppy errors, 2 mistakes in attack, and it just is gifted to Hull FC. The first real opportunity in this game. We're only 7 minutes in, and this will really test how Hull have adapted to not having Asiata there. He's been so integral to how they've played this year.
All the responsibility, as John mentioned, falls to Aidan Caesar, doesn't it? And he will be hoping, with John Cartwright, and Hull will be hoping that Caesar runs the show, and there he is, without a shadow of a doubt, where he's come alive again. His career's been resurrected at Hull.
Yeah, and Asiata has had so much to do with that, just putting Aidan Caesar in space, putting SS in space. But as we said, he's not there. And what I wouldn't like to see is Aidan Caesar overplay his hand here. Just get into the game, keep it simple.
Borough. And here is Caesar now. Price into the line. Good hands from Rappenar. David Litton. McGann now with the tackle. Rappenar from dummy half, and Will Price again in the line as they shift it to that right-hand side. Caesar trying to kick the ball through. It ricocheted off a Catalan knee. I don't think it was played at. The referee agrees. So the last one for Hull FC. Partington again in there with the tackle with Chris Satay. Caesar. The ball ends up with Will Price. And now Amir Burrow. Great opportunity. SASA is brought down. Here's Burrow now. Caesar, can he be the architect? Great tackle. Brilliant tackle there on Will Price. Puts the pressure on Caesar on the last. Arrow it towards the corner. Ball goes backwards. It was Laguerre who couldn't hold on to it. And here's David Litton. Real pressure now from Hull. On we go. Another full set on that line. That's Rappenar. Great chance for SASA. A yard or two out. Well, extol the virtues of Herman Esse, and he scored his 9th try of the season. A superb season just gets better for Herman Esse. You felt it was coming, the pressure was building. And Esse, 5 Super League tries, 9 in total, Hull hit the front.
Yeah, it's not a particularly quick ruck, but this is where Esse is lethal. Just runs with a bit of venom, pushes over the top of Remus Smith. It's way too easy. Smith needs to make a stronger contact. The fullback can't stop Esse, and you can be forgiven for not doing so. Esse has ran over so many players this year in a similar situation. That's why he scored so many tries this year. Lethal when it comes to attacking the opposition's line. And a great start here from Hull. He didn't really get into any fluency in that attacking set, but does it matter when you've got somebody like Esse who can just take opportunities like that? Before that, what a great defensive set it was from Catalans. Dragons almost picture perfect for Joel Tompkins, but just one weak contact and Hull fall to the good.
Well, errors as well. Errors have cost the Catalan Dragons in the opening 10 minutes for sure. And the pressure paying off. Don't forget as well that they've been kept scoreless in their last 2 games. The Dragons beaten 40-0 at Saints, and that was Steve McNamara's last game in charge, and in Joel Tompkins' first game as interim coach. They were well beaten 48-0 by Wigan. Caesar adds the 2, 11 minutes in, and Hull FC leads 6-0, deservedly so.
Yeah, great start from Hull FC, and John Cartwright will be delighted of how his team have adapted to Asiata not being present. This is a big test for Catalan though. They're in the doldrums of confidence. Things haven't gone well for them this year. Hull FC go up to an early lead. They'll be looking at Partington and the guys in the middle of the field to show a response here. Put a big defensive set on.
Another crowd of over 10,000. Stansfield Bear Brutus. The support is still there for the Dragons in the Super League, and all this noise and nonsense over the last month or 2 about Catalan, whether they should be in Super League or not. It's just that for me, nonsense.
Yeah, such a rich part of our competition.
Yeah. For goodness sake, they've won the Challenge Cup and reached 2 grand finals in 3 years. And they now have to pay for other clubs to travel.
Get on the tourism board.
5. Move, Chris!
12 minutes gone, 6-0.
Goal 5. Square up, Barter!
Burrow, the ball goes back. Plenty of time for Caesar to get the ball away. Makinson, who's had a checkered start to life at the Stansfield Bear Brutus. Brilliant chase.
Yeah, it's great effort. Second effort from Rapana and Hardacre just to force Makinson back. And again, that tight and aggressive Hull defence. Great contact from Chamberlain. Great process here from Esse. That's controlled. That's slow. That's what you want to see from your defensive team.
Well, this is, as you say, this is John Cartwright rugby. Without a shadow, at its finest, as it has been in the opening stages. Aggressive in defence, especially when Catalan are inside their own half. He managed to get the offload out.
It was well read from Harvey Barron, wasn't it? Harvey Barron just stayed up in the square and spotted Makinson getting that ball free.
Already the last one, only midway inside their own half. Farge, under pressure from Rapana, gets the kick away. There is young Lewis Martin. What a season he's had. 15 tries in all competitions.
Yeah, both him and Harvey Barron really strong, powerful carriers of the ball, do an awful lot of industrious work. Barron gets into dummy half here. It's so important that your back 3 meters during a game. And these 2 young kids have really delivered for Hull FC in that regard.
Lewis Martin 20, Harvey Barron just 22. Very much the future. De Costa was in there to force the error. And they do make the error. It was a crunching charge by Alrich De Costa.
It was a massive hit.
It was.
Intent for De Costa to get off the line.
High tackle on Laguerre as well. Penalty to the Dragons.
Just Will Price just coming in to mop up. Davy Litton got beat on his inside shoulder. Will Price just comes in. He's certainly dropping in height, but just catches him high. A penalty. And let's see what Catalan can do. They've not had any possession in the Hull FC half. This will be the first opportunity to string some players together.
It's taken them 15 minutes to get this close to the Hull FC line. 88 points conceded in the last 2 games. 0 scored for Catalan. Here is Partington now. Keary looking to offload, finds Farge. Here's Laguerre now, through in Yaha. Yaha is pushed into touch. That was absolutely brilliant. The ball came out anyway. Fantastic defence from Hull FC, and look at the celebrations, and so they should be. Yaha, full of experience there, but was caught out.
Yeah, my question is, what was the purpose of Catalan pushing the ball out to Yaha there? Hull FC had obviously defended it. It was man on man. Somebody inside of Yaha needed to take that tackle. You're just running the risk of getting rushed over the sideline. It was Litton who led the charge, and what we call it, he got underhooks on Yaha, stops him from dropping to the ground. It's a big play, and once you've got him in that situation, it's easier then for defenders to come in, add weight and drag him over the sideline. But just questioning what the objective of Theo Farge, the pass that ended up in Yaha's hands, what were they trying to achieve there?
They achieved now. Well, that's a really good tactic at the scrum, and it works. The push, the mistake from Burrow. Catalan will get the ball back. Well, that's something that they tried last week and didn't quite come off against Wigan. The push at the scrum, but they get their reward here.
Yeah, old school. Old school. Just strange to see Herman SS in, not actually packing down, not binding, not providing any resistance, and that just let the Catalan Dragons really push the whole pack off. So after being thrown in touch, this is a chance now for the Dragons.
Old school, and I love it. Great stuff from Catalan's pack. 6-0 Hull FC lead, but well, there's the chance gone. And now the break for Martin. He's got Price with him. He may not need it. Here is Martin rather. He's going to go. He's going to go the whole way. They go 95 yards. Lewis Martin capitalises on the mistake. 5 yards away from the Hull FC line, and they were away, and he was gone, and Hull lead 10 points to 0.
Poor execution. Catalan Dragons in the opening 17 minutes of this game just have failed in terms of execution with the ball. Constantly made errors. 3 to 4 errors now they've made with the ball. They've not managed to get any consistent patches with ball in hand. It's a great try. 6th try of the year for young Lewis Martin. What a season he is having for the black and whites. It's Luke Keary. It's a dreadful, dreadful pass from Luke Keary, who's been nothing short of average for this entire season. It's great reaction from Davy Litton, and a fantastic finish from Martin. Remus Smith, there's not much he can do. This is just a shocking ball. But great awareness from Litton, and then great support from Martin. What a start for Hull FC, Stuart. But it's built off the back of sloppy Catalan and errors with the ball.
Well, as John mentioned, outstanding. 16 tries in all for the season for Lewis Martin. As soon as Davy Litton broke downfield, there was only one thing going to happen.
He was smart from Litton. He was patient. He could have... Will Price really pushed with him early doors in that break. He could have easily just fed the ball to Price, but he was patient. He just let the play unfold, and then Martin appeared with 10-0 with the kick to come.
Well, they had a brilliant win at Perpignan all the way back in February in round 1 by 24 points to 4. They made a storming start there. Around about 1,500 Hull FC fans will be disappointed with that goal attempt from Caesar, but not from the start that their side has made. Approaching 19 minutes, 10-0 in front, and you have to say they've been excellent.
Yeah, tidy, tight defensively and tidy. really controlled in that department, and then off the back of that, what have they done? They've just capitalised on the errors and the position and territory that Catalan have gifted them through being sloppy with the ball. Catalan need to tidy up, quick, sharp. Just get tidy with the ball and give yourself a chance.
Well, they just haven't been in it. They have been masters of their own downfall, but Hull's defence has been spot on, and the two chances that they've had inside Hull territory, one ended up with Yaha being pushed into touch and losing the ball, and then John said, Luke Keary with that dreadful pass out, first pass, and now they give away, Navarrete gives away a penalty, too late in the tackle there on Liam Knight. It really is not great for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, when you make errors, it's important then to back that up with a clean period of play. Well, they're compounding errors with ill-discipline, with errors. And this is just in 80-degree heat in the south of France. OK, they may be conditioned to those conditions a little bit better than Hull FC, but this is one way to wreck your energy levels come the back end of the game. You know, that's where Catalan will struggle here. This is energy-sapping stuff, defending this onslaught from Hull FC.
The ball came backwards there from SASA, picked up by Knight. Rappenar goes to dummy half, pushed out of the way by Burrows, the former Hull star Chris Satai, and they're threatening again. And each time they've been down this end of the field, they've looked very threatening and they've come up with points. SASA brushes aside Acosta. Romano had no chance either. He's a beast, Herman SASA. Couple of yards away. Rappenar it was brought down. It goes back to Caesar. That's a good teasing kick towards the far side, and it's knocked back, and it comes out to Martin. Can he squeeze over? I think the referee's blown up anyway. It may well have come off a Hull hand in the end. But Martin was threatening another try, and that is a huge relief for Catalan.
Yeah, Davy Litton's the target for all of Aiden Caesar's kicks and good ball. He's such a fantastic player under the high ball. Yeah. He's a kick target, and both him and Martin benefit from the accuracy of Caesar's kick. Obviously knocked on by Hull FC, but that'll be a tactic you'll see throughout the season.
It may well be a forward pass from Litton to Martin. That's why the whistle went.
Goal 3, he's out, Amir.
But again, huge relief for Catalan. 55 minutes gone at Headingley, by the way. Leeds in front against Wakefield by 22 points to 12. 22 minutes gone here as Farge gets the kick away, and Hull leading by 10 points to 0.
Yeah, Frank Maria's on for Catalan Dragons, and Chris Satter is a big ball carrier. Has just been on the field for 21 minutes defending. That's not smart use of your resources. Primarily in the team to carry the ball. But Frank Maria now gets a crack at this Hull FC middle.
Briscoe does well. Tom Briscoe, 18 seasons playing at the highest level. How did you manage?
No idea. You're meant to research, not me.
A few. 10-0 Hull lead. 23 minutes on the clock. So they've just been very good, haven't they? On the last, the ball goes back from Burrow to Aiden Caesar. Pressure on this, and taken well by Fuan Yaha. 150th Super League appearance for Yaha, who, of course, is Catalan's leading try scorer. They could do with a try from anyone at the moment.
They just need to get into the game, Stuart. Forget scoring points. They just need to compete in the effort departments of the game. They need to be clean and disciplined. Desiree on the field as well. So Catalan have rolled both their middles off to 20-minute stints in the middle for the starting Catalan forwards, and all of that defending.
Farge kicking early. But again, a poor kick, and well read and well taken by Will Price. Crunches into Mathieu Laguerre, and Laguerre has come off worse for wear there.
I know you're helping, mate.
They will stop playing, quite rightly. Mathieu Laguerre taking a huge blow. He just got in the wrong place, didn't he, with his head, and that certainly will be a head injury assessment. And the way that he went to the ground, you doubt whether he would come back onto the field. That didn't look too good.
No, it's clean out. There's not a chance he will be back in the field. It's a big carry from Will Price. Just the techniques all wrong. Got the technique wrong and has paid the price here. As you said, 1,500 Hull FC fans have made the trip over. We talk about the Catalan Dragons and what they bring to this competition. Well, it's just one of the most exceptional weekends for a rugby fan to get down to the beautiful city of Perpignan, Canet-Plage, Collioure, some of the amazing towns around that area, and Hull FC fans undoubtedly would have had a great few days. But what would make it all the more better is if they can see their Hull FC team get a win, and they're in a great position here. Laguerre's up.
That's good news.
Yeah, he's going to go down and have a head injury assessment. There's no chance that he will be returning here this afternoon this evening.
Yeah, that was... well, it's good to see anyway, isn't it, that he was up and able to walk off on his own, because it looked like that he was out cold after getting his head in the wrong place trying to tackle Will Price. So Seguier has come on. Yeah, just to fill you in on the Elliot Whitehead situation, he felt his back, his lower back, in the warm-up, and wasn't really able to run, which is why Artur Romano came into the starting lineup, and Paul Seguier came onto the bench. But losing Whitehead is just another big blow for Catalan. Garcia in with a tackle along with Theo Farge. There's Ed Chamberlain, ball back to Caesar. It's a great kick from Caesar. Great kick. Just a little bit unlucky. That was a terrific kick from Aidan Caesar, but they'll be glad to see the ball roll behind the dead ball line.
Yeah, 7 tackles set, just overcooked it, but Aidan Caesar's excellent at sitting back behind that 40-metre line and picking off the 40-20s. He's had a few this year for Hull FC already. It was almost a great kick, wasn't it? But that might be just what Catalan needed.
They need a lift, they need something special. They've got the players to do it. Of course, Tariq Sims also not playing. He pulled a calf injury. Tompkins is still a way off.
I disagree that they need something special, Stuart. I disagree completely. I think they just need to compete and get in the game and show some attitude and effort and commitment in the simplest of ways. Nothing flashy. Just square up to Hull FC and have a crack.
They have the players to produce a bit of magic.
It's not magic that's been missing from Catalan Dragons. It's attitude and effort and attention to detail.
They've come nowhere near to scoring in this game so far. 25 minutes gone, 10-0. We can agree to disagree.
Absolutely. But if Catalan think the quality of their personnel is what's missing, you know, is what will save them here and get them out of this situation, I'd be very surprised if that's the messaging Joel Tompkins is using. No, it will be.
What I was saying is they have the players to do something.
But not if they're not. No, they're not turning up. Luke Keary, I'll give you as an example. It's a mistake here from Ashworth in the tackle.
Ashworth dropped the ball.
And this is where you suggest the quality of Keary, of Remus Smith, should come out as a challenge here.
Yeah, I think they're going to challenge whether Ashworth has lost the ball or not. James Dunlap is the video referee.
We have a captain's challenge. Hull FC are challenging the decision of a knock-on. If we can just play that again, please. You can see multiple Catalans Dragons players in the tackle. Focusing on the ball. Slow from this point. Slow. Slow. Just looking to determine how the ball comes out. I'm looking for an intent to steal. Do we have any other angles, please? If we just play that again, please. One final time. Looking to determine how this ball comes out. Okay. Just frame by frame on that one, please. Frame by frame. Okay, looking at Garcia's hand. Okay, frame by frame. Keep running it through. Keep running it through. Okay, I can't see how the ball comes out, so the review is inconclusive. The on-field decision will stand, and Hull FC will retain their right to challenge.
Well, there you go, James Della telling us all that you needed to know. It's inconclusive, so Catalan will get the ball back, and John Wilkin, maybe one of their players, will do something very special and score a try.
Well, no, they just need to get in a period where they're in this field position now.
Yeah.
Jack Ashworth has gifted them some possession. Now, what they do with it is really important. The most important thing, 26 minutes into this game, is to build some pressure. Score points, yes, but build some pressure and get to the end of a set, because that's something they've just failed to do in this first half.
The point you made earlier on as well, in Luke Keira, they have a three-time NRL Grand Final winner who just hasn't performed to any real standard in Super League.
Well, he's gone from passing to James Tedesco and Joey Manu to players who are nowhere near that quality. It's a challenge for him. I understand how difficult it is. The language, such a change culturally.
So they needed to step up. You know, he's one of the superstars. He's a marquee signing, and that's what he's trying to do now. It was Remus Smith joining the line. That was better with ball in hand from the Catalan Dragons. Here is Keary once more. Desiree looking for a way through. I mean, Burrow and Ashworth in with the tackle. Burrow goes to ground. Da Costa right on that try line, on the last. Ball goes backwards from Da Costa, tipped by Keary, and then the pass from Remus Smith. Well, Luke Keary did get involved there, but there was no chance whatsoever for Tommy Makinson. Great defence from Hull. 28 minutes gone, and they still lead 10-0.
And there's the quality players that you're talking about. Keary to Smith. Smith throws it. Might as well have thrown a carrier back to Tommy Makinson. He'd have got there quicker. It's just not good enough. Remus Smith played for Melbourne Storm in the NRL. You know, you can talk about quality and pedigree all you want. I think the attitude of Catalan Dragons this year has been shocking, and I'd imagine if I was Joel Tompkins, that would be the one thing I'd work on. On the flip to that, Hull FC have showed real commitment and attitude here in the opening 28 minutes. Herman Esse, he's been massive, hasn't he? A big shift from a number of players from Hull FC in warm weather conditions, have played it almost perfectly. Not been really fluid in attack. They've not absolutely torn up trees with how they've attacked, but they've been efficient and paid this fixture the respect it deserved.
Well, defensively they've been far too good for Catalan. Having said that, Catalan haven't been very good at all with ball in hand. Here is Zach Hardaker. Takes play into the Dragons half of the field. Rappenar it is, who'll go back for Caesar. And that's another factor that I've noticed during this game, as it's taken there by Remus Smith, that the kick pressure on Aidan Caesar has just been non-existent.
It's hard to get that. The rugby league's a cycle, and if you lose possession and you keep turning over possession, it takes energy away from you, and that stops you from doing those little efforts. So that everything is connected in the game, and Catalan, unfortunately, have just lost the energy battle and given Hull FC every opportunity to get into this game and get ahead, and that's exactly what they've done. On the flip to that, it's been such a tidy defensive process. Again, 3 in a ruck here on Tommy Makinson. It's slow enough, and again, they try and make dual contact and commit numbers into tackles, and it's incredibly effective.
Desiree has made a difference since he's come on. Keary it is with the kick, and taken by Price and fell out of the back door to young Harvey Barron. But having said that, with 10 minutes to go to half-time, it is 10-0, and it's only 10-0, and Catalan, I guess, can be pleased that it is only 10-0, and they're still in the game.
They're absolutely still in the game, and all of the things they've got wrong can be addressed. I think half-time is going to be crucial for them. They certainly need to get into half-time at just 10-0 down. Only competed 7 from 11 sets. Only had 11 sets to 6 here, so Hull FC have dominated possession and territory, and are obviously dominating on the scoreboard as well. They've had 16 sets to 6 of Hull FC, so
Caesar it was with the offload for Hardacre. De Costa's in there, Kiri was in there, Seguier was in there to bring him down. And here is Aiden Caesar again. A bit more pressure on the kick, but it's a brilliant kick, and it bounced awkwardly, didn't it? It was Barron who took it, tried to get the pass inside, but he went forward. But just for a moment, there was a chance here. Makinson got caught in no man's land.
It was a wicked bounce, wasn't it, of Caesar's kick?
Smith and Makinson, wasn't it? Yeah, could have been a chance.
Yeah. Like I said, wicked bounce. These are tough positions for the Catalan Dragons to get out of. You look at that Hull FC defensive line. Comes back out to the wide shot. Just look at this defensive line.
Big hit! Wow, the ball goes backwards. But what about that? Sam Esse on the field makes his mark. Was a thunder hit.
Yeah, massive shot. And I love how organised and disciplined this whole defence looks. You know, it can certainly still be broken down, but when you get people who are shoulder to shoulder, committed and making dual contact, it makes it incredibly difficult for Catalan to break them down.
Wakefield coming back ahead of him, 22-16, leads in front, 15 minutes to go. 10-0, Hull in front here with 8 minutes to go to half-time. Just looking at that bench, you know, the Jack Ashworth who we mentioned, the Barnforth, Laidlaw, Esse, all 21 years of age.
I think when John Cartwright came in, one of the issues he had was he recruited a lot of old heads, a lot of experience, but the rest of the squad were just so young. So he had this polarity of his squad of age and experience and inexperience, and that's worked out really well. I think it's so crucial that Aiden Caesar, Hardacre, you know, Esse, the more experienced sort of players, Rapinoe, who's done me half here, they remain fit. It's so important as a guide for the likes of Lewis Martin, Hartley Barron, and those young forwards on the bench who you mentioned.
Yeah, Laidlaw has come on. Matthew Laidlaw, local boy, 21 years of age for Yusuf Aydin. And gingerly, Sam Esse plays the ball there, and he goes down hurt. That doesn't look good for Hull FC. We'll keep an eye on that as Jack Ashworth is brought down. Last one it is. And Caesar will hoist one high. Look at the pressure coming in here. The ball went forward, I think, and the chase was superb from Rapinoe and
Litton.
Litton it was on that far side, and Barron.
Litton's come all the way off the left-hand side.
But
to
you
challenge.
say that's the target.
Yeah, challenge for the kick, and Caesar knows he's putting it on top of Remus Smith. We see Sam Esse going to contact to just knee clash.
He collapsed, didn't it?
Yeah. Doesn't look in a good way, Sam Esse there.
That would be a stoppage in play. We were just saying what a big impression Sam Esse has made. Tries in his last 2 games. Well, that is a worry for Hull FC.
Yeah, a nice impact defensively from Sam Esse when he's come on the field. You just see his knee buckle under. I think it's a knee clash. A clash of knees, and he's sore. He'll be taken from the field here. The physios and the doctors will have a good look at him, but he's a big ball carrier.
So Esse just come on, will have to go off. Catalan.
How often have we seen this picture this evening? Catalan playing the ball 10 in, 10 out. We've got to go to the corner post. Ollie Partington and the Catalan forwards. Luke Keary's demanding that they get a roll on. It's so difficult, and that's the picture I love from Hull FC. So consistent with how they line up defensively. And again, this process. 2 in, 1 man chop, and the situation is so controlled.
At the moment, it looks like being 2.5 games without a point for the Catalan Dragons. There is Desiree, and he has made an impression. 5 Farge trying to get things going a little for the Dragons. Da Costa at dummy half. It was Garcia who was making the run. Already the last one on halfway. Here is Theo Farge. Will Price watching this one, watching it carefully, takes it well. 6 minutes to half-time.
Lost it.
He's lost the ball. Well, he did watch it carefully, but he didn't take it carefully on the run. And Frank Maria has given Hull a chance, or Catalan a chance to really test this Hull defence. Rare error from Hull FC. Will Price it was, he put the ball down. 5 minutes to half-time. Garcia, and here is Farge now. Keary with a little kick forward, charges on, and it's taken well by Barron. Has he managed to stay in the field of play? He has, and that's a wasted opportunity, isn't it?
It's a massive play from Harvey Barron. It's a huge play from him. He gets back, recovers possession, and then manages to get his ball-carrying arm grounded infield. Look, with 5 minutes to go, that's a massive play from young Harvey Barron. Both him and Lewis Martin have been exceptional for Hull FC this year.
10-0 it is. That's as close as Catalan have come.
Release!
They've lost their last 4-3 in Super League, and of course in the Challenge Cup semi-final when they were well beaten by OKR. Price has kicked downfield. And here is Yaha now. Is the one last opportunity for Catalan in this first half. Keary. As John mentioned, there's going to be a big half-time talk, I think, from Joel Tompkins. He was adamant this week that they found their feet, he said, as a group. They were focused. They come together in real belief, but that belief hasn't transmitted onto the field so far. Good stuff from Kotric, but the offload was dangerous and taken by Mankinson only just. Kotric quickly at dummy half. Here is Keary now. What sort of a kick is it from Luke Keary? Price couldn't get hold of it, but Hull still come up with the ball. 3 minutes to half-time. I think it was Liam Knight who was in the right place at the right time. 10-0, Hull FC in front, and they get a penalty. Sort of sums up the half, doesn't it, for the Catalan Dragons?
Yeah, it's just a shoulder charge from Frank Maria.
It was.
On David Litton. David Litton's had a really bright 2025 also. Just catches him high. Ill-disciplined. Yeah, David Litton, he's become a kick target for Hull FC. He had a tricky start to his career, didn't he? Came in, exploded onto the scene, and has really consolidated his form under John Cartwright and managed to get back into the team on a consistent basis. Produced some great performances, a great young kid.
It's been a revelation this season.
Yeah. And if you do one thing really well, it can almost make you indispensable for your team. And he just competes so hard on kicks. And when you've got Aidan Caesar in your team, having somebody who's just going to pursue every one of his kicks like a bloodhound, it's effective. It's a shoulder charge.
Well, it was, wasn't it, from Frank Maria? That's why they're having another look at it. Yeah. The original bounce was missed by Price and was taken by Liam Knight. It's the play after this that they're going to have a look at to see if Frank Maria challenge was illegal. Is it just a penalty? Is it a yellow card?
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Just a penalty.
Yeah, we could have more said there's two mitigations. I'm interested to know what the mitigations of somebody shoulder charging someone in the head are, but
I think anyway. Liver was going down. Well, it's only a penalty.
Yeah.
John Wilkin may disagree with that.
Maybe.
He disagrees with most things, though.
Won't be drawn. It's been a great performance from Hull FC.
Yeah,
the only 10-0, that's the problem for them, is they're just 10-0 away. They've probably been better than that just 10-0 scoreline in terms of the way that they've turned up here in the south of France. But half-time's huge. For Joel Tompkins, it's a big half-time, not necessarily for the words, but just a chance for his team to take stock of what's gone wrong in that first half.
Yeah, no surprise that Mathieu Laguerre has failed his head injury assessment test. He won't be coming back onto the field, so another blow for the Dragons. It's Price who gets the kick away to the corner, and it was taken well by Yaha. Just manages to stay in the field of play, but great pressure again from Litton and from Martin.
Yeah, he chases every kick, whether it's a lost cause or not. You know, his kickers must love him because he can make average kicks look fantastic just by his effort. And again, we see Catalan just... How many times have they been in this situation, just coming out of their end? Not really had any quality possession, and what they have, they've squandered.
We haven't seen much quality, full stop, from Catalan. Last 30 seconds of the first half. Hull looking to go back-to-back victories in the south of France. Kiri under pressure does manage to get the kick away, taken by Will Price. And Hull FC are on the mark with Price. That's brilliant from Price. Is he going to go the distance? Will Price with a sidestep. What a try! What a score from Will Price! You've just seen one of the tries of the season. Will Price with an absolute stunner. Hull FC extend their lead. Wow! Magical, magnificent, and Hull are 14-0 up.
Well, that half-time that we spoke of that was going to be so important for Joel Tompkins has just got an awful lot more difficult. Will Price, he's been exceptional for Hull FC since he's joined. 2 tries, but more than that, just a threat with the ball. Runs, challenges defences to be good. And with seconds to go in that half, he just caught the Catalan Dragons possibly trying to get to half-time. It's really poor. Tommy Makinson and Kotric just have a play-off. Price is too strong, too quick. Great footwork to skin Reno Smith on the inside. With seconds to go in the half, what a play from Price. And how disappointing for the Catalan Dragons. Hull FC deserving this 16 points to 0 lead at half-time. Great footwork and speed. Sensational from Price.
He picked the ball up probably 20 yards inside his own half of the field. And we talked about somebody producing something very, very special, with a moment of magic has come from Hull FC and from that man, Will Price. And as John said, huge impression since joining Hull FC, and could yet turn out to be one of the signings of the season. And the Dragons look bedraggled behind the post, but that was sensational.
Yeah, just paying the price. You clock off against the ball runner like Will Price, you get caught out. We've seen it, actually. George Flanagan for Huddersfield, you clock off against him, you get caught out. There's so many exciting players, French field. You just can't have players off in Super League, or you get caught out, and that's what Catalan Dragons have done here just before half-time.
No problem there from Aiden Caesar, and that will bring to an end the first half. And what a first 40 minutes it's been for Hull FC. Catalan Dragons beaten 40-0 by St Helens, 48-2 be finalised. The word from the touchline, pit side, Stade Gilbert Brutus, is John Cartwright telling his players to keep on starving. Hull FC on possession. Joe Tompkins, not surprisingly, far from happy. Asking the players, and it's a good question to ask, you know, are you the same players who turned up for training this week? It's up to you now to prove what you can do. He's putting the onus back on the players to come out and show some pride and passion and try and get back in this match.
I'll tell you, as a professional sports person, it's easy to turn up through the week and be good. It's incredibly difficult to do it under the pressure and scrutiny and the consequences of delivering on a match day, and they've just faltered in that department. But I'd really focus on John Cartwright's message. He's right, starve Catalan of possession, starve the midfield position, and just stick to what's working. And there's a discipline to Hull FC to just stick with that process and not really try and find answers somewhere else. But for Catalan, you just want to see a reaction. Sam Esse back on the field. That's encouraging, isn't it? After what looked like a really
nasty knee injury,
yeah, so great to see him back on the field. But yeah, John Cartwright will be delighted with the scoreline and also the attitude of his players in a warm south of France.
I'll tell you what a good appointment as well. What a really good appointment it's turned out to be. An experienced coach and a steady hand on the tiller, and Hull FC just wanting improvement. You know, it's a great phrase, but it's a true phrase when it comes to Hull. It's evolution, not revolution. And if they can somehow get in the top 6 this season, whatever happens from there, that's a massive leap forward.
Yeah, Andrew Thurkel coming in has just given stability and confidence to everybody at the club, and John Cartwright's gone from being in an uncertain position when he first signed to having the backing and the security of 3 years to build a squad. And look at the difference. You know, people just want to feel safe in employment. You look at the difference now. Catalan Dragons have lost their head coach. They've got a series of players who are desperately out of form, feeling far from safe. So John Cartwright's biggest success is feeling calm and that feeling of security and safety for the players that he's going to be around.
Yep. Well, let's see what the Catalan Dragons can do at the start of the second half. It surely can't be any worse than we saw in that first 40 minutes. Maria it was who was tackled, and Luke Keary goes towards that corner, but it was a nothing kick, wasn't it? And an easy take for Lewis Martin. First couple of minutes of this second half.
Yeah, it is what he's aiming to do. He's just wanting to kick that as high, as deep as possible. We see Mikey Lewis do it for OKR. You're not giving your chase a chance to compete, but that's fine because it's deep. And look at Hull now. They're having to come out of their end. You know, one play 3 on the 20-metre line. And this is the cycle that Catalan just didn't master in the first half whatsoever. So, you know, maybe a bit of a nothing kick, but it gives you opportunity to galvanise behind your defence, to put a strong defensive line out there, and that's what Catalan have done so far this set.
Lee Barnforth is on for Hull FC. There he is, young man, 21 years of age. High hopes they have at Hull FC for him. Ball goes back to Will Price, the star of the show, well, certainly the star of the try-scoring show in the first half. Here is Makinson, looking to carve out some pressure and find some gaps. But there haven't been many, have there? Smith brought down on halfway. 3 minutes gone in the second half. 16 points to nil. Hull FC in front. Of course, they're doing it without Ken Cust, and they're doing it without John Asiata. They're doing it very well.
Yeah, defensively have just shown up as well. I think losing Asiata and Cust is more of a risk to your attack. He's managed to score 16 points, and Will Price looks every bit able to create opportunities. Kottrich's so strong. He's been one of the sort of standout performers in a struggling team.
Makinson with a chip over the top, but it was well read by Will Price, and again you have to say it was a nothing kick, and it's a 7-tackle set for Hull FC. And here is Lewis Martin coming out from his own 20-metre line, and Hull FC 16-0 in front. His partner in crime on the other wing, Harvey Barron, and 2 disappointing sets from Catalan.
No, so yeah, the first one I'm absolutely fine with. Luke Keary's great kick. It's deep and it's high. That kick from Tommy Makinson there is just manufactured. It's either lack of communication or lack of discipline to get the ball in the right player's hands, and that's where you see Aiden Caesar just completely in control of that part of the game. Yeah. He's now, as a halfback, sat behind his attacking players, pushing them, nudging around the field, and essentially setting up a good spot to kick from. He's always great when he carries the ball. Aiden Caesar has his best games when he carries the ball. Great kick.
That's a great kick downfield as well. And Yaha, who takes it only just on the far side. But read the play, read the gap, and again, the same story as the first half, as John Wilkin pointed out. Look where Catalan are starting their set.
Yeah.
And it's a knock-on.
Wants to play the ball. He tried to play the ball. Esse think they're unlucky
Is it
here.
Frank Maria or Romano? It was Romano.
I think they're unlucky here, Stuart. I feel like Romano's trying to get to his feet, and Esse nudges him in the back and pushes him back towards the ground. It's a strong carry from Romano. He just tries to pop his hips up off the ground. Sam Esse nudges him down. Like, wow, it's a tough call on Catalan Dragons.
Romano playing his 100th career game. He's made a big impression, hasn't he, the big man, Sam Esse, and
yeah, if Catalan want anything out of this game, it's just imperative that they keep Hull FC out here. You know, 16-0 is salvageable, 22-0 is fatal.
Caesar, Price coming into the line. It's Romano who did well to bring him down. Here is Caesar once more. And Chamberlain for Hull FC, still leading by 16 points to 0. But have they got the chance here to perhaps put the game beyond Catalan? Barron cuts inside. Rappenar finds Caesar. And just knocks the ball up for Jack Ashworth. Safe option, just hanging on to it. Desiree was in there. Partington, as always, was in there with the tackle. Barnforth goes on his own. Just shy of the line, is he? Liam Moore signals the last tackle. Rappenar at dummy half. Caesar once more. Kick goes through. It came off a Theo Farge, but it's still the last. It wasn't played at. Now there's the kick to the corner from Caesar. Brilliantly taken by Litton. Chips the ball forward and Farge to the rescue. Wow. Well, there was the kick and there was the danger. And it was nearly another try. Theo Farge coming to the rescue, but there's Litton again in the right place to take the kick.
Yeah, fantastic take. What was even better was just finding the kick. A repeat set here for Hull FC. Esse nearly getting it down. A crucial contribution there from Theo Farge, just managing to get his right foot out to that ball before Esse could ground it. Might have picked up an injury in the process, but it's another opportunity, another set of 6. And it's in these areas actually that John Asiata's absence is most visible, in these good ball sets, because he organises all of the middle section of the field, the movement there. And maybe not looking quite as effective, Hull FC, but we've got another opportunity here.
Well, they haven't won back-to-back games against Catalan for 9 years. They're well on the way here. Jack Ashworth. Strong in defence to Costa. Barnforth it is. Look, the moment Hull are doing what John Cartwright wanted them to do, the coach stifled them. Well, Ashworth, the ball goes backwards, but I think that may well have been a knock-on by Hull as well. And the referee will say first knock-on from Ashworth, claiming the ball went backwards.
Challenge.
Nathan Caesar is going to challenge the call as to whether there was a knock-on or not by Jack Ashworth. James Vella is our video referee. And he'll have a look at this with Hull leading 16-0.
We have a captain's challenge. Hull FC are challenging the decision of a knock-on by Jack Ashworth. So if we can just go back, please, to the touch by Ashworth. Play that again. Just go back, please, to the touch. Okay, yep. So here and slow and slow. Okay. If we can look from camera 3, please, for perspective of the direction of the ball.
That gets overturned, it's rubbish.
Okay, this is the best angle.
He's left his hands and knocked
and
on.
Slow. See the touch by Ashworth.
Isn't it? It's a knock-on.
And the ball
you made the right decision.
Backwards. The ball then is knocked on by Catalans Dragons. And then the whistle is blown by the referee. The challenge is successful.
Kiwi knocks on after that on the floor, mate, so I'm going to go with a knock-on.
Well, there it is. Challenge successful for Hull FC. The ball did go backwards, so it was a knock-on by Catalans, and that means that Hull will get the ball back. 9 minutes gone in the second half, 16 points to nil. At the moment, Hull FC are cruising.
Yeah, cruising without a doubt. Fortunate there from Jack Ashworth. 2 poor contributions from him. He came on, lost the ball. Just lack of focus there that brought the referee into it. Kiri just dribbles it forward. So fortunate for FC this. But this is where you'd want to see what the answer is for Hull's attack for the next maybe 4 to 6 weeks. You've got to come up with something that's just a bit more depth, a bit more direct. If anything, we've just looked a little flat.
Well, it was noticeable there, they were binding and holding on and pushing back at the scrum just in case the Dragons tried the scrum push once more, as they did with some success in the first half. Barnforth and Price here in Caesar now. Rapinoe brought down 10 yards away from that Catalan line. It was Hardacre and now Caesar. Esse, what a pass from the big prop forward. And eventually comes to Lewis Martin. Bit of fortune, but that's a brilliant try if he can get to the line. Has he, Lewis Martin? Managed to get the ball down. He stopped just short. How about that from Sam Esse? Here they come again with Price, and the ball goes to Litton. And has Litton managed to get the ball down in the corner? The flag was up. It may well be that he had a foot in touch. All the fun of the fair in Perpignan. 50 minutes gone. The video ref will have a look to see whether this call in the corner is a try or not. No try on the field from Liam Moore. There you go, fairly easy for the video ref, James Vella. Good call from Liam Moore on the field, and his touch judge spotted it straight away. Davy Litton did have a foot in touch, but what about that from Sam Esse? He's been terrific, hasn't he? We thought he wouldn't come back in. He had real pain apparently in his ankle, but that pain has gone, and he's made a big impression at the start of the second half. So 10 minutes gone in the second half. No try it is, but Hull still dominating and still leading 16-0.
It was a good scramble from Catalan, really, in the end. They've done well here to keep Hull out. It's crucial for the game that they did that. Just some connection in how they defended and managed to repel Hull FC.
Well, they did. Not just Litton, but Martin.
Yeah. Fujiyaha comes up with a big tackle, and then they get the right edge defence together and manage to force Litton into touch. It's better from Catalan.
Well, Hull spent a big part of the season, as we said, on the road. They've got 9 home games still to come. They could be handily placed to make a big push for that top 6. And they'll go 5th, by the way, if they do win this. Reminding you, 5th in the table, which would be astonishing. And the last game of the season at home in September against Catalan. Kiri it is with the kick, and Price takes it. 1, 2, 3, juggles. All's well that ends well.
Only just. And again, Kiri just finding a good kick and a deep kick. And this is where the conditions can start to bite. We see Jack Ashworth there wandering through shot. It's warm. This is where maybe Hull FC could tire. We saw them tire against Leeds, didn't we? They were out to a great win. Obviously, have really dominated, haven't they, in terms of carry meters, physically been at the races, whereas Catalan just lacking in that department, both in territory possession and then their ability to make meters once they've got the ball. But this is where the game could start to bite.
Barnforth.
Release it in 5 above the knee, but be careful, Ben.
Desiree and Maria in with the tackle. It's Will Price who gets the kick away, and it's a good bouncing kick as well. And taken by Yaha, who loses possession. Martin picks it up, but he was tentative, wasn't he? He never really attacked the ball to try and pick it up with any authority. Yaha with the error, and what an opportunity for Hull.
I just don't know what that is. That's just woeful from Yaha, woeful. Just give Hull the game here, Catalan. Just here you go, Hull. It's yours. Take it.
Caesar. Well, they're threatening, and they've been threatening most of the second half, as they did for long periods in the first half. SASA and Caesar once again. Ball eventually finds its way through to Barron. Barron with a jinking run. The young winger does well, a couple of yards away from the Catalan line. Catalan are hanging on. Barnford, ball goes back to Rappenaar. Caesar now with a little kick through for David Litton. Has he managed to get the ball down or not? Litton is celebrating. He thinks he's scored a fourth try for Hull FC. We're going to have it checked by the video referee, James Vella. It's a try on the field. It was an error by Fuad Yaha, and James Vella will make the call. Hull think they've got another.
From the kick. Pausing on the boot. Kick chases to the left onside. If you can go now through to the grounding, please. Camera at 6 and slow. Camera 6 and slow. So we've cleared the onside offside. Now through to the grounding. The ball's bouncing. You can go slow on that again, please. Focusing on the grounding. Ball's in the air. We just play it frame by frame. Need to ensure that there is downward pressure and no separation. So frame by frame. See the ball in the air. Still in the air. No separation at this point. Keep rolling it through. Yep, frame by frame, please. We just see from the opposite side, please, camera 5. Camera 5. We have a live decision of try. I need sufficient evidence to prove that there is separation. You can just play that one again, please, and frame by frame. Frame by frame on the grounding. So does he ground this ball? Okay, you can see the hand on the ball at that stage. It goes blurry, and I can't see from that stage. So based on the live decision of try, there is insufficient evidence to overturn. I've made my decision. Thank you, mate.
Well, there you go. Good call from the ref, and a good call from the video referee. And that might just be that. Try on the field. Try given by the video referee, and David Litton, who's had an absolute stormer, adds 4 points to his tally, and Hull go out to 20 points to 0.
Yeah, we've got Herman SA, Sam SA, and then we've had 4 SAs for Hull FC, 4 tries here. I know,
Sure.
apologies. I'm really sorry.
Well, even I think that's good.
Well, it's a great kick from Caesar, and David Litton, we spoke about his chase, his willingness to chase everything, and look, it comes up with a try this time, but he gets that because he's chased every single one of those kicks with venom, an intent to just get there and put pressure on Catalan, and that's why he deserves that try. It's an exceptional kick from Caesar, who just spotted the fact that Yaha had come up on the end of the line. Marvellous kick from Caesar, just toying with Yaha's position, and Litton just with the chase that he's delivered every single time Hull have kicked the ball.
1,500 Hull fans singing loud and proud at the opposite end of the Stanfield Bear Brutus, and so they should. You have to say it's been a wretched performance from the Catalan Dragons. The Yaha with the mistake, and Caesar here looking to add the 2, and he does. 55 minutes gone, and it's 22 points to 0.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Fuad Yaha error. I just struggled to think what he was thinking. He dilly-dallied, Litton got to him. It's just an awful look. It's a shocking look. That gave Hull FC the field position, great chase from Lane, great try, execution from Hull, sloppiness from Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, John said we've had some essays, and essays and more essays, and the upshot is 22 points to nil, and it's been a terrific performance from Hull FC. It's been not so good from the Catalan Dragons.
No, I think focus on what Hull FC have done. And look, 22 points is great, but they've just aimed up physically here, and that's the difference between the two sides. Ultimately, the attitude and commitment physically from Hull FC has just been really consistent throughout the game. Essay with such a big carry, he's so hard to handle and takes so much energy out of defences just by how difficult he is. This man, Essay, has had, look, he's had a strong impact as well. And physically, Hull have aimed up. I think John Cartwright will be delighted with that.
Pricing is on the last with the big kick downfield, and it was Remus Smith who was slotted into full-back, and Joe Tompkins reckoned that Guillermo Aspuro Bichet just needed a week or two off. He's been in the firing line, hasn't he, the young full-back? There's no doubt he's going to be a terrific player. But they've been beaten in all aspects of the game today, Catalan.
Yeah, absolutely. Just beaten to the punch in effort and enthusiasm, in quality, in execution, all aspects of the game. You're right, second best, and some soul searching for Catalan Dragons. There's 24 minutes here, and you know it could get messy for Catalan, but Hull FC will be delighted with just how his team's going.
Satai back on the field. Chris Satai, of course, 97 games in 5 years for Hull FC. Kicked downfield, taken again by Will Price. So there's still some speculation, well, quite a lot of speculation as to where Chris Satai will be plying his trade in 2026. But he's on the losing side at the moment against his former club. Coming up for 58 minutes gone, 22 points to nil.
Yeah, there's an interesting storyline that's going to play out as the year goes on. Lewis Martin, who plays the ball here, you can only play 2,000 minutes before you stood down.
Explain about match limits. It's been a story that's developed in the last week or so.
Yes, for Harvey Barron and for Lewis Martin in particular, once they play 2,000 minutes, they have to be stood down. Martin, on his own, is at 1,200 minutes, which means that he might not be able to play a fair few games at the end of the year. So it's just designed to protect players from load. But just interestingly, how many of those great young players, Junior and Sember over at Wigan, will it affect him? And there's a few here for Hull FC, thinking Barron and Martin in particular, and David Litton, who it could really affect as the season rolls on.
Is it all to do with age?
Yeah, under 22 and over 22, different benchmarks, but that story will roll on, Stuart, as the year goes on.
Absolutely, because it's going to become significant, isn't it? Good point. 22 points to nil, approaching the hour. Is there any way back for Catalan? Seguier was brought down, and Da Costa and Keary now, and here is Cottridge. 9 years at the Canberra Raiders, manages to get the ball out of the tackle, and then it was Remus Smith who was holding back Essay. Sam Essay's been outstanding in this second half.
It's just look at the difference in desperation and fight between Sam Essay and Remus Smith. The contrast in these two teams is shown here. Remus Smith doesn't react, then pulls him back. Essay is fighting to get to that ball. That's the difference. Sam Essay's effort to get to the ball, Remus Smith trying to shortcut his way to get the ball back.
Good spot by the ref. Hour gone, 22 points to nil. Hull FC, well, in front, in control, dominating, and just to use a word that we used some 15 minutes ago, they are cruising, and it has been surprisingly easy for them. But the effort, they're getting the rewards for the massive efforts that they put in.
And it's the little details. Harvey Barron getting out the in goal in the first half. Sam Essay competing to get possession back there. David Litton competing on kicks. It's that willingness and the spirit to compete. that John Cartwright's really just instilled in this Hull FC team, and it's impressive to watch them to do it consistently and do it week in and week out. It's what I've loved about Hull FC this year. And they want to close this out. This is an important 20 minutes for John Cartwright, because although he might feel like the game's won here, he has to work on developing a plan B for not having John Asiata for a period. And it's really on Caesar and Price and all of the key decision makers with the ball to just find a bit of rhythm.
There was Caesar and there was Price. Hour gone. Chamberlain plays the ball. Price brought down. They're in good field position again. SA for Caesar. Wrapping up after Briscoe was brought down. Matty Laidlaw.
Move! Back here, back mate, hold. Go, 5. On 5.
Caesar, Price, good hands. Martin just couldn't hold on to it.
It's a missed chance from Martin, Stuart. I think the pass from Litton has to be taken. Once Martin gets one hand to this, he's got to reel that in. Slightly out in front of him. We spoke about those two. What a young left edge that is. Litton and Martin, exceptional. Just compete for everything. They're in that stage of the career, Stuart. Talking about people enjoying themselves. There's some LFC fans who have had a great time in the south of France. Young players just enjoying a stage of the career. And speak about the strength of John Cartwright and what he's brought. Well, he's almost got that paternal figure instinct that is nurturing for young people. You can see it. He's got a calmness to him, and it's bringing the best out in some really young athletes in this Hull FC team.
Very passionate man as well, John Cartwright. About his players and about his team. Cesar Rouget is on, and here he is. Now it's Keary. Seguier had nowhere to go. Well read by Rapidar and by Barron. Rouget once more. Wow, that was a terrible pass. But well done, Lamarette, I think it is. Ball goes inside. It was looking for Keary. The ball goes to ground. Picked up there by Will Price, and Price is away once more. Oh, what a sidestep! What a dummy! He's gonna go the length again. Another quite sensational try from a sensational young player. Take a bow, Will Price. Fabulous once more. Price scored 2 absolute worldies at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, and Hull are racing away with this. But Will Price is making a big name for himself. He's going to be a big star.
Catalan Dragons are a joke. And I'll tell you what's no joke, Will Price. His speed and his effort. Look at Remus Smith. Remus Smith's effort there is embarrassing, but Will Price does exactly what he needs to do. He spots space and opportunities and he takes them. As soon as Will Price kicks off his right foot, he knows Catalan are lazy. He knows Catalan defenders don't want to get involved in tackles. He knows they're not going to compete, and he just takes advantage of it. Destroys a woeful Catalan defence, a woeful defensive and attitude effort from Catalan Dragons. David Litton is competing for try celebrations, not only for kicks. Excellent from Price. Stunning. In broken field, as we said, Stuart, he's lethal. He's lethal.
Becomes some good pedigree, doesn't he? His dad was a fair player, Leon, in his time, but what a sign, as I mentioned earlier, that Will Price could turn out to be.
Yeah, and his dad, Leon, had that big, rangy sort of step, you know, could jump maybe 2 defenders when he stepped. One of the crucial differences, I think Will's got genuine pace, you know. Leon, what a player Leon Price was, by the way. Exceptional, great guy to play alongside. And his son here, Will, is doing an exceptional job. And just, it's so important. Last night we saw the impact of Mikey Lewis and how important it is having somebody who can break tackles, create things. We said about Field and French, George Williams. Every team's got them, and Hull just recruited one in Will Price.
Could turn out, as I mentioned, to be one of the best signings of the year. Caesar adds the extras at 28 points to 0, and the Catalan Dragons are 15 minutes away from the humiliation and embarrassment of being nilled in 3 consecutive Super League matches.
Yeah, disappointing. Look, the 28, the nil is concerning. The 28 for me is not acceptable. Not at home, not in front of 10,000 plus fans who turn up. The demanding of the Catalan Dragons supporters. Bernard Guasch should be looking at the investment he's made in this squad and just wondering what's happened.
On 10. Back off full. Back again. Surrender. Stand. Oh, play it. Go on, one ball's always going backwards.
15 minutes to go, 28 points to 0. Hull FC are going 5th in the Super League table. Partington conceding a penalty. And it goes from bad to worse. Yeah, they're going to go 5th in the Super League table. They're going to win a 7th consecutive, or 7th in total, I could say, Super League away game. If only they could win at home.
But they need to get going in that regard, don't they? It's 4 defeats and 1 draw at home, or on the road. You know, being exceptional, as you said.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, they've also won brilliant at Wigan in the Cup, and we feel they were unlucky not to win at Headingley for that last gasp winning try. You and I were there for that, weren't we?
Yeah.
Ryan Hall scoring in the 80th minute. Here is SASA.
Yeah, that whole stadium with 14,000, 15,000 fans, it's a big atmosphere, isn't it? And it's obviously bringing the best out in the opposition teams that go there. You know, John Cartwright won't be too concerned about the home form just yet, but the longer that rolls on, the more of an issue that can become.
Oh, Hardacre with a bit of pace. How about this? He's got support as well. And Tom Briscoe will stroll over for another Hull FC try. The veteran Zach Hardacre rolling back the years with a little sidestep and a little shimmy. And Tom Briscoe gets another Hull FC try. It's gone from bad to worse for the Catalan Dragons. But it's interesting now, because Briscoe is approaching a record for the aforementioned Leon Price. More about that in a moment, but what about this?
Yeah, well, it's Navarrete and Chris Satai are just throwing it in. It's unbelievable vision again from Hardacre. He'll be shocked at how easy it was for him. He just put his foot down and just punctured holes in the sloppy Catalan defence, and Briscoe with an exceptional follow-up, great support play. Look at Hull FC celebrate. What a performance and a result for Hull FC.
John, they're a team. They're a team and they're a group that are together, and that's self-evident.
Yeah, and you're right, you're absolutely right. There's something that connects them all, whereas when we look at their opposition, they look like a group of despondent individuals who have no appetite to help each other out, you know.
Well, just to confirm, Tom Briscoe now needs just 1 try to draw level with Leon Price in the list of Super League top try scorers, equal 9th. That was his 172nd Super League try for a man who's playing his 18th season at the age of 35, and it's also his 98th try for Hull FC. And Aidan Caesar is surely going to have the extras, and there's still 12 minutes to go. 12 minutes of agony and suffering from the Catalan Dragons. Walloped 48-0 by Wigan, thrashed 40 points to 0 by St Helens, and now being hit hard by Hull FC by 34 points to 0.
Yeah, just dominant from Hull FC. An element of patience. You know, points haven't necessarily been easy to come by, but they've just put Catalan in vulnerable enough position where they're gassed, they've got no energy. You know, 17 sets completed out of 26 for Catalan. 6 or 7 errors. They've just never been at it, never been in the fight. But from minute 1, it's not been something. I think their attitude's been off from minute 1, and Hull FC have just spotted that and exploited that. And the stark contrast in effort and commitment.
Do you know what? I think that'd be the biggest disappointment for Joel Tompkins, because he he was saying when I spoke to him in the week that they trained really, really well. It's as if they pressed the reset button and they were all in it together. A rare error this time from Will Price. A wry smile and an apology. 11 minutes to go. Can Catalan get off the dreaded 0?
Yeah, an error from Will Price. His first error of the game. 2 sparkling tries from him. Exceptional, just to take advantage of the holes in this Catalan defence. Some soul searching, you're right, for Joel Tompkins, obviously new into his position and looking to make an impact. You know, he's taken over a legacy of what's been poor for the last maybe 12, 14 months. So that'll take some time to really bed in any change. But, you know, if they keep practicing well, they keep turning up to training and trying to address some of the issues that they're having, of course they'll improve, but you still need to put it together on a match day.
But Keary has gone off. Not sure if it's an injury or not, but Keary's off, De Costa's on. Here is Farge and Remus Smith. Hull will be desperate to keep the Catalan Dragons scoreless. Less than 10 minutes to go. Farge once more. Chris Satay against his former club, right in front of the post. Can Hull keep Catalan out? De Costa. Farge with a long pass out to Makinson, and Makinson may well have scored. And Makinson special in the corner. Brilliant dive for the line by Tommy Makinson. And we're just going to double check it, but they may well have gone off that dreaded 0. But we shall see. It's a no try on the field. The question is, did he keep his foot in touch? James Vella is the video ref.
Tackle four, live decision, no try, frame by frame, and pausing it there. We can go back and pause it on the... pausing it there. The foot enters touch. I've made my decision. Thank you, mate. Essay refuse.
When things are not going for you, things are not going for you. A foot in touch. Great spot, I have to say, by Liam Moore. No try on the field, no try confirmed by the video ref. And Catalan still can't get any points on the board. But it was a great effort from Makinson.
Yeah, great call from Liam Moore. He spotted it and excellently dealt with from James Vella. Quick, prompt, let's get it done, let's get the game on. That's exactly what we want to see. Great refereeing. And almost from Catalan Dragons, but almost isn't quite good enough. Got to credit the scramble. How many Hull FC shirts got into that frame, by the way? We've got 3 guys scrambling like mad. The game's done. You could be forgiven for just letting Catalan waltz in the corner. Well, no.
61% possession for Hull FC. Says it all. Catalan, by the way, the next 3. Hull KR away. Wow. And then back-to-back home games back at the Stade Gilbert Brutus against Lyon and Huddersfield.
You know, on one of our games earlier in the year, we said they wouldn't win till round 16. You know, that when we were talking about the demise of Steve McNamara, round 16 was the next game that you thought that Catalan could go and win, and it's playing out, isn't it? The issue for Catalan is the nature of defeat, the points that they're conceding. And let's just talk about Hull FC in 2024. Long kick here from Aidan Caesar. 9 times last year, Hull FC were beaten by 24 points or more. Now these 2 teams, it's almost contrasting. There's the fixtures there, Hull KR, Lee, tough. Then they've got another tough 2 games, 17, 18. You know, there's only that Huddersfield game in there that you think Catalan are target to go and win. The others are going to be a real challenge. But yeah, the nature of defeats is what's concerning for the Catalan Dragons.
It's a thankless task, isn't it, for an interim coach and Joel Tompkins. We will speak to him at the end of the game, no doubt about that. He will front up, and he's got a couple of weeks now to work with the players before that next game away at Hull KR. But 7 minutes to go. Getting thrashed 34 points to 0. De Costa on his own from dummy half. They get a repeat set, a 6 again. Navarrete always looking to offload. Alrix De Costa. Rouget now. Here is Seguier. Well, they'll hope to have the likes of Bousquet and Sam Tompkins back pretty soon. Sirinin, Tariq Sims. Nearly through there, wasn't he? Rouget put his head down, and he's still going. Rouget, and pushed back there by Price, just as he was trying to put the ball back there. It's Cesar Rouget, last one. And they're going to get a penalty. They were offside at the play of the ball, interfering as well with Alric da Costa, just trying to get the ball away. Yusuf Aydin may well have been the guilty man, so still a chance to put points on the board for the Catalan Dragons. Here is Desiree, and the ball goes to ground. And that, ladies and gents, sums up the Catalan Dragons' day. And it's 34 points to nil with 6 minutes to go, John Wilkin.
Yeah, it's ugly, isn't it, for Catalan? LFC's next fixture as well. They've got quite a nice couple of weeks coming up. You'd expect them to get a result at Castleford, although they put up a great show. And they're scoring 24 points against Warrington. Well, Salford, they're almost a foregone conclusion that they'll be getting thumped. And then Warrington, St Helens, Wakefield. So 16, 17 and 18 is a tough little run. And if you want to finish in the top 6, you'd say that LFC have got to be winning 2 of those 16, 17 and 18 round games. But LFC have vastly improved in so many areas. And credit to Richie Myler and Andrew Thurkel for smart recruitment of experience that's just give them a calmness and a discipline that they've just not had.
Ball goes backwards from Desiree. It's the error from Rapidar that gives the Catalan Dragons the ball back. Can they score some points? Is it going to be a 0 for the 3rd consecutive game? And it's certainly going to be a 5th consecutive defeat. Da Costa. Satai. 8,500 inside the stand, Gilbert Brutus. And a hefty contingent from Hull FC. Da Costa from dummy half. Are the points for Catalan? Farge looking to find a way through. Good defence from SASA. Da Costa again. Rouget for Cottridge, now Makinson.
Good scramble again from LFC, just getting numbers in the frame, shutting everything down that Catalan throw at them.
Last one. Is it the last chance? 4 minutes to go. Rouget towards that try line. Oh, well taken. Brilliantly taken. Is it Martin? No, it's not. It's Litton. Oh, what a game he has had. It does look like being nil. 4 minutes to go, John. This has been some performance, though, from Hull FC. Take nothing away. As poor as Catalan have been, and they have. Hull have been excellent.
Yeah, I mean, in years gone by, going to Catalan and getting anything out of the game was a result. You know, just playing in this part of the world was so tough, so hard to get results. In Perpignan, it's not like that right now, but Hull FC have done everything that's required of them.
How about that from SASA? 30-yard pass, 34 points to nil. In the cold, well, it wasn't so cold in Perpignan in February, they won 24 points to 4 in round 1 at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. They're going to beat Catalan in back-to-back games for the first time since 2016. 7th away win, 5th in Super League. Great turnaround.
Yeah, so Tommy Makinson, a few shouts to people who've really tried. Tommy Makinson's had a crack, you know, he's really had a dig. Interestingly, Luke Keary off the field now, yet to find out whether that's an injury or he's just been dragged. It says a Rouget on in his place. It's either an injury for Keary or he's got the hook off Joel Tompkins.
Yeah. Just over 2 minutes to go. Last tackle, Maria plays the ball. There's a tussle with Aydin. Da Costa. Downfield it goes. Perfectly positioned there from Will Price. 2 minutes to go. So before we go off air tonight, we will speak to both coaches and the player of the match. That was a big hit, wasn't it, on Harvey Barron, but he looks to be okay. Briscoe at dummy half. A minute and a half to go. Oh. Well, still a chance then. Mistake from Hull FC, that was sloppy. So it gives Catalan one last chance, and it was interesting there, a grapple between the former Canberra teammates, Rappenar and Cottridge. Hardacre eventually brings the Aussie down.
And John Cartwright will be desperate for his side to hold on to that 0 here.
Absolutely.
You know, just keep that commitment. They've been a bit sloppy with the ball here in the last 10 minutes, but if they can keep Catalan to 0, John Cartwright will just be delighted, Stuart. Just a round off a defensive performance to be proud of. And 0 will mean almost more than that 34 points to him.
Yeah, you better believe it. Farge and Rouget, Aaron Smith, and Litton just stopping the run. And Romano on the far side. 30 seconds to go. Cesar Rouget, Ashworth, and in with the tackle. Maria, Farge with a little kick through, and then the ball bounces along the ground. It's a knock-on, and Hull FC celebrate. You can see the celebrations there for the black and whites at the end of what's been a fabulous day. Rappenar and Chamberlain, high fives all over the place. It's very loud at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, and that is a fabulous victory for Hull FC. They go 5th in the Super League table. 7 away wins in Super League this season for a team that hardly won a game over the last 2 years. For the Catalan Dragons, another humbling and humiliating experience as they're nilled